Hey everybody, welcome to the Faster Fitness Show. Today we are going to be going over Fit Busters, right? All the myths about fitness, nutrition, lifestyles. Stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of the Faster Fitness Show. Today we're going over the Fit Busters, right? Ivan created a list of crazy fitness myths, lies, bullshit that we hear on a daily, weekly, yearly basis, and we're going to break those myths today. Ivan, what do we got for the first one?
All right, so the first myth that we have is you should avoid carbs to lose weight. Oh man.
This one really makes me upset.
Carbs are the devil.
Mama said carbs are the devil. Well, your mama lied. Bull crap. Definitely. Baloney. Carbs do not make you fat. You know what makes you fat? Eating too many calories, right? Refer back to some of the other videos and we'll keep telling you, calories are what make you gain weight. Right? Carbs literally do not make you gain weight, right? They don't. Unless you eat nothing but carbs and you eat carbs in a surplus, then we can argue that carbs make you gain weight, but they don't. Carbs, we need them, right? Unless you're following like some type of ketogenic diet, something like that, then you definitely need carbs in your life, right? Carbs they're your fuel source for exercise. They actually help with sleep. Right? They cut off cortisol. So when you eat carbs, we cut cortisol off, which helps you with sleep at nighttime. But more importantly, we definitely need carbs as a source for energy and for building muscles. So it always kind of pisses me off when people say that they're just cutting carbs out of their diet. Because when we looked at what made you gain weight, calories, but if we looked at the macros of those calories, I guarantee you it's a combination of carbs, fats, and sugars, right? Mm-hmm. Your muffin that you eat every single day isn't just carbs. It has a ton of fat, a ton of sugar in it, aka carbs as well too. So it's not just carbs, and we always blame carbs when it's a combination of all those. But in the end, calories are what make you gain weight. Okay, get it through your head. You eat too many calories, you're gonna gain weight. If you want to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And you know, I just want to cut everybody that I see. I swear that says that. I mean, makes me mad.
At the end of the day, what Frankie is saying in a very overwhelmingly passionate way is that obviously it's a simple formula. Like every single individual, okay, that's out there, that we have a certain calorie count that puts us at maintenance, right? And if we want to lose weight, we got to eat under that. Right? But if we have a surplus of that, we are going to gain weight inevitably. It doesn't mean that it's all carbs, right? And I still don't understand in this day and age and how far in advance, like all the technology that we have, all the advice that we have, and like all the training centers that are out there, how this is still a thing, right? I love carbs. You like carbs?
Love them.
I love carbs. Hey, I'm losing weight by the week, right? Like I'm still leaning out by eating carbs. And guess what? 90% of our clientele here at Faster Fitness are women who, guess what? Eat carbs, right? And they're losing weight, building muscle, looking amazing, and they're eating carbs. It's a mindset. You know, I think the hardest thing, our jobs as coaches, is to kind of debunk some of these things that you grew up with your entire life. If you're 40 years old, you have 40 years of things that were just kind of jammed down your throat that were bad before, which never were bad ever, but you kind of grew up with this mentality that, hey, carbs are bad or whatever the case may be. And it's hard to break that habit because you got years and years and years and years of believing that, right? It's just ingrained in your mind. So that's our hardest job as coaches for sure. But if you hear this, especially if you hear a fitness professional tell you this, run. Run as fast as you can to somebody else who tells you that you should be eating carbs.
Actually, send them my way so I can have a conversation with them about it.
Frankie would love that.
But on a real level and on really breaking down, like looking at it, we're not telling you to go and just eat carbs galore.
No.
Right? That's not what we're telling you to do. A lot of people definitely benefit from, you know, a lower carb approach, but that doesn't mean no carbs, right? A lower carb approach Could be that maybe you only eat 3 meals a day and one of your meals has a good amount of carbs in them. That could be low carb. Maybe you eat 4 meals in a day and one of them has a big serving and then the next one has just a small serving of fruit, right? That could be low carb. People do tend to do better on low carb than pushing the carbs to the limit, but also the quality of your carbs matter as well too. If you're eating cereal and donuts and bagels and bread all the time, you're not going to feel great. You're going to feel tired and slow. You're probably going to get hungrier faster. You're going to get increased cravings, which is going to make you reach for more of that stuff as well too. So it's not just carbs, it's a combination of carbs, fats, sugar. It's the quality of carbs that you're doing. I've never heard anyone say I have the worst cravings after eating a sweet potato, after having some oatmeal and egg whites and veggies, right? No, because definitely food quality matters as well too. So like when we say eat carbs, we're talking about more complex carbs. Again, your sweet potatoes, your yams, even a little bit of rice in there, oats, fruits. Those are kind of the carbs that we're talking about during this. So again, no, we're not saying go and just eat whatever you want via carbs. There's definitely a time and place to have cereal. There's definitely a time and place to have bread and things like that. But a majority of your carbs should be complex whole food sources. And that we tend to do better, most of us, unless you're an athlete or unless you're training for a specific sport that require more energy, then you're gonna probably do better on a low to moderate carb diet anyways too. So again, just to break the myth, carbs do not make you fat. Eating carbs at night doesn't make you fat. If you eat too many calories throughout your whole day, that is where you're gonna get weight gain. And so we hope that we busted this fit myth for you today.
Hashtag carbs matter.
All right, moving forward with our next myth. Ivan, what do we got?
This is a good one, Frankie. This one is
Please.
fasted exercise burns more fat. All right, let me start it off. Frankie is overly passionate about some of these myths here, so am I. I mean, all right, here's the thing. There is a time and a place to do this. What we tend to see with a lot of our early risers here, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., there is a majority of people who feel better working out on an empty stomach. This is a preference. It's not because it's better. And then we also have other people that they cannot work out on an empty stomach, so they wake up a lot earlier to have something in their bodies before coming into either doing a cardio session or a strength training session, okay? There are times for a personal example of mine. This morning, actually, I went to go play basketball early in the morning, and I did not eat anything just because I feel better. It's not because I'm burning more fat, and that's the reason why I do it. Absolutely not. Like this is like the worst piece of advice that anyone could give. Frankie, your thoughts on this?
All right. So, like Ivan was saying, a couple years ago, I'd say it was about 3 to 5 years now, fasting became popular again. And people try to say that being in a fasted state made you burn more fat because people were losing weight. And now why you were losing weight is because they were fasting. They were shortening their window of where they were eating. So inherently they were eating less calories, so they were losing weight. Again, it came back to calories, right? So fasted cardio or fasted, people, I'm gonna do fasted cardio to burn more fat. No, what really burns fat is being in a calorie deficit, right? Strength training so that your body burns more calories and that it taps out of its glycogen storages so that it uses stored fat as an energy source. That is how we burn more fat. But again, like you said, it's a preference. There's some days when I enjoy, especially with cardio, I enjoy cardio. Sometimes I feel like I do have a little bit more energy when I don't eat.
Yeah.
But like with strength training, I know that I need food in my system because I lift heavier, I get a better pump. Just overall my workout quality is better when I'm fed, when I'm lifting weights, right? It becomes a preference, right? I know some people are 5 a.m., 6 a.m.ers, even some of the people that come in at 10. They just don't feel good when they eat that early in the morning, so they wait till after their workout. And sometimes you just get into that routine and your body's just used to doing it. It has nothing to do with burning fat. It's more about feeling and how they feel. They feel better. Sometimes people feel sick when they eat, right? And the whole thing with fasting as well too is It's not a magical pill or anything like that. I definitely fast on a daily basis. Some days it's 12 hours, some days it's 14 hours, some days it's 15 hours, some days, it's less, right? But I know I feel better when I'm not constantly eating from the time I wake up and then throughout the whole day too. But again, it's not a tool in the sense of I'm going to lose more fat. It's more of I feel better when I don't eat right away when I wake up and I actually move, go for a walk, things like that. So again, it does not burn more fat. It's more of a preference. Do you like working out on an empty stomach or not? In the end, it's always going to come back to calories. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight, burn fat. If you're in a calorie surplus, you're going to gain weight too. So we hope we broke that myth for you. All right, now that I can breathe after those first two, please, Ivan, don't make me have a heart attack on this next one. What's our next one?
I promise you're not going to like this one. All right, myth number 3, guys. Eating small meals frequently throughout the day keeps your metabolism high.
Yeah, I think you should eat 30 meals a day. Then, at that
So
point.
even smaller meals.
Yeah, even smaller. One bite, meal one.
40 times a day.
No, in all seriousness, meal timing and like how many meals, like quantity of meals to the day, it depends. It depends on the person. Depends on the situation. We need context to it, right? If you're somebody, we talked about fasting on the last one. If you're somebody that loves intermittent fasting, right, and you're only eating for 8 hours a day, trying to tell you to eat 5 meals in that window is very, very hard, especially when you're eating quality foods, whole foods, minimally processed, right? So again, the context matter. That person, 2, maybe 3 meals is probably appropriate for that person. Mm-hmm. Maybe person B, they struggle with cravings and they notice that when they don't eat every 3 to 4 hours, that they get cravings and they end up eating candy or sugar, whatever it is. Context for that person, maybe more meals throughout the day is better for them, right? There's no right or wrong approach. It's what works best for you. And, playing with that stuff and like going from times where, maybe you do try 5 meals a day and it works for you and it helps you sustain energy, it makes you feel good, you lose weight, you have better workouts. That works for you. Maybe you're that person like, oh my God, I'm struggling to eat. I'm having to force this meal down. I'm staying up late. That's not for you. Don't do it. It's not going to speed up your metabolism. Here's what really speeds up your metabolism. Strength training, that will speed up your metabolism because the more muscle we have, the more calories essentially our body burns. When our body burns more calories, it means our metabolism is a little bit faster. Walking and movement throughout your day, right? Moving more, the 10,000 steps, that's going to help you build a faster metabolism because again, your body's burning more calories. So we're kind of revving your metabolism up that way. Sleeping, making sure you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep so that your body's rested and recovered so that your metabolism can be faster. Mm-hmm. And I would even argue we're more beneficial of a faster metabolism these days with how fast life's going, right? So those are some ways that you actually really truly speed up your metabolism. Obviously, if you're overweight, extremely overweight, losing weight's gonna speed up your metabolism. But eating smaller, more frequent meals may not be the best approach for you, but it may be also the best approach for you. It depends. Like I'm saying, context matters with this stuff, but they show in the research anywhere from 3 to 5 meals a day is an appropriate amount of meals you should be eating. Timing, it depends on your schedule. I know for me that sometimes I can go 5-6 hours without eating, but I also can eat a huge meal that's like 700-800 calorie meal that's of whole foods and things like that. But that works for me. That may not work for you, so we need to figure out what works best for you.
I mean, I think for me, if you're not doing the whole fasting thing or anything like that, like I don't fast that much. There's times where I can stretch it out. It's not a big deal for me, but
dude gets hangry when he doesn't eat.
I do get hangry, so that's why I need to eat pretty early. But at the end of the day, this frequent meals throughout the day, it is kind of a myth because, I mean, it depends also because it could work for you, but it doesn't work for everybody. At the end of the day, it boils down to, guess what? Calorie deficit, right? Because we take a look at where you should be at. If your goal is to lose weight, maybe you're at 2,000 calories for the day. Hey, if 5 meals a day works great for you, 2,000 calories divided by 5 meals, that's what your meal count should be probably, right? If you want to do 3 meals, Same thing, 2,000 calories divided by 3 meals, right? It's like you're still eating the same amount of food and you're still in that calorie deficit, which guess what? It's gonna make you lose weight. It's gonna make you feel better. Like I think at the end of the day, it's simple as that.
I get people struggling just to eat 3 meals a day. Like I'm having to tell them like, man, we need to make your meals bigger then, like, and they're struggling just to eat 3 meals a day, especially when you're loading it up with protein and vegetables, minimally processed foods, whole foods. It's very hard to eat 5 meals. And a lot of the times with our society and the way things are set up now, we don't want to look at a plate with like barely anything on it. Like you ever go to those restaurants where they don't give you a lot of food and you're like, who
like this costs $200?
You're
like
feeding, are you trying to feed a child right now? I'm a grown man. Where's the big plate with all the food? We're so used to that now that, you know, eating smaller meals psychologically, some people might feel restricted, right? In the sense of, man, I don't get to eat that much this meal. And then all they're doing, if you're doing 5 small meals for the day and it's causing you to, when you eat one meal, you're already thinking about your next meal, that's not healthy and that's not sustainable. Maybe you go, instead of 5, 3 bigger meals throughout your day, things that are satisfying you. Maybe that's the approach, but in the end, it depends. But it definitely does not increase your metabolism. The things I said earlier are the things that do increase your metabolism. So we hope we busted that myth for you. Moving on to the next one. All right, Ivan. The first 3 got me. Give me something that's not gonna make me wanna run out of this room right now. What's the next one?
All right, myth number 4, everyone. If you stop working out, your muscles will turn into fat.
It's like a vampire. If a vampire sees light, you turn into dust, right? Your muscles are gonna turn into fat if you stop working out. I'm gonna let you take this one first.
That's a good one, man. Like, so what does that mean? Like if I worked out for 6 months straight to build muscle and I built all this muscle and then I stop, I just lose it?
Yeah.
I just lose it.
It's just gone.
Where does it go?
It just disappears. You know,
I don't even understand how this is a real thing.
Probably goes to a fitness influencer. Bikini model.
They have all of the muscle.
Yeah, they steal it all.
So my take on this is absolutely false. You can't just lose something you build, especially if you're still kind of maintaining it and you're using the same protocols to keep it. It doesn't make sense to me because if you're still trying to get your 10,000 steps and you still strength train, say you even decrease strength training by like a day or 2, there's absolutely no way that that's just gonna go away. Like you'll probably feel weaker, but there's no way that all of it just goes away. Absolutely not. So unless you just replaced, let's say in this example, the 6 months of working hard and building all that muscle, and then you just dramatically switch to the next 6 months of being sedentary, eating all the foods, being in a calorie surplus every single day, drinking every single day. Like, and I don't know too many people who make this huge switch, but I think in that scenario, maybe you'll lose a lot of your muscle that you've built because you're living a completely different lifestyle. So I think this is a huge BS like myth, and it's pretty comical, Frankie.
Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
That is a question people have been asking for ages.
40-year-old virgin, watch it. He'll give you the answer. But, okay, context in the sense of, I think this is where this comes from is essentially, this is where this, I don't think this would happen, but people would kind of blame it on it. If, like Ivan said, you worked out consistently, you build muscle, and then you completely stopped and reversed your whole lifestyle, right? You lose your, right? If you stop lifting, you won't build muscle. Yes, you will lose some muscle inherently, but it just doesn't all go away. You can look at old school bodybuilders like Arnold. Arnold ain't pumping iron like he used to, right? But that dude still is jacked and still has a ton of muscles, and that's just years and years of doing that, right? But again, if you say you worked out 2 years, you built good muscles, and then you completely stopped and went into a sedentary lifestyle, typically what happens when you stop working out, you go into that lifestyle, you tend to consume more calories, you tend to go out more, you're more loose in that sense of you're eating candy at lunch, or you're eating candy and junk food at work, you're drinking more, so you're in a calorie surplus, so you're gaining fat, and you're not working out, so you're losing muscle. okay? But your muscle isn't just turning into fat, it's because you're consuming more calories that you're gaining fat, and you're not working out, so you're not sustaining your muscle, and you're not building more muscle, right? So that's essentially the only way that would happen. But man, if you only lifted weights for 2 days a week, you would still maintain your muscle, right? The only way you're gaining fat is, like we keep saying, if you're in a calorie surplus, you consume too many calories, and that's the only way you're gonna do that. If you're literally just if you're sending a signal to your body, AKA strength training, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you're gonna consistently maintain or build muscle, even if you're consuming more calories, right? You're just gonna gain a little bit of weight while you're doing it as well too.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
If you believe this and you don't believe after what we just said, then I don't know what we can do for you. But we hope that we broke that myth for you. So moving on to the next one. All right, Ivan, we are on to our 5th and final fit myth buster. What is it?
All right, myth number 5, ladies and gentlemen, it is working out 6 to 7 times a week produces faster results.
All right. I think that's true. Just kidding.
No.
Look, we talked about it before. We'll talk about it again, that you do not need to train all the time in order to have success. You talked to me 5 years ago, I'd probably tell you you're not working out enough. You need to work out more, even if you already were working out 4 times a week, right? And our purpose all the time is to educate you on mistakes that we made so that you don't have to make those same mistakes, right? That's essentially what a coach is you're learning from them in the sense of they're gonna tell you about mistakes they've made to help you streamline a little bit faster through. I mean, we still even have some clients in here that I have to tell, like, hey, take a day off, right? Relax, chill
out.
It's okay that you miss a workout, right? That doesn't mean you go sit on your couch, right? Go for a walk, go for a hike, do something low intensity, get outside, still do that. Replace your gym workout. Like yesterday, I didn't go to the gym, but I went outside and I didn't run the stairs. I literally walked the stairs, got my heart rate up a little bit. I didn't go too intense, but I got outside, I still moved. So I replaced that 45 minutes, 1 hour that I had at the gym with a recovery session in the sense of just moving more, right? Working out 6 to 7 days a week is the fastest way not to get results, I'll tell you that.
Yep.
Your body's always constantly trying to recover, your body's always sore, it's always damaged, and then we add in no sleep on top of that and probably some poor food choices in there, and there's a recipe for disaster, right? Your body needs to rest, right? We're constantly stressing our bodies, and one exercise I always like to do with people is to get a piece of paper, write a line down the center. On the left, I want you to write all stressors in your life. Exercise is a stressor, okay? Write them out. Work, family, time, all these different things, you list them out. And then on the right side, I want you to list everything out that you do to reduce stress. Exercise cannot be put on that side because it's a stressor, right? And usually that list is very short compared to the stress list, right? Just to go and show you that we already have so much stress in our life, why are we gonna add more, right? I had to tell somebody the other day not to come in after she told me that she thinks she strained her calf and that she got hurt doing something, but I can't miss a workout. Like, I'm gonna ruin my momentum. No, you're not. We're actually gonna save you from being injured for 6 months so that you can sustain your momentum. You need to get out of the mindset that you're going to gain weight by missing one workout. Replace that with doing something else. Again, walking, go ride your bike, go get some skates, go to a trampoline park, go jump around, go do something else. Just replace that time with something else, right? Maybe you need to just go to sleep. Maybe you do, like, you work out after work. Maybe you are feeling tired, weak, things like that. Maybe you got hurt on the weekend. You rolled your ankle. Maybe you just need to go to sleep earlier.
These
right?
are all signs telling you to relax, chill out.
Like, you do not need to work out 6 to 7 days a week, especially, and you can do it successfully, but for most of you watching this, you don't know how to train appropriately to do that, right? And again, I think we used to do it a lot. We used to go 5, 6 days a week, 3 days of strength, 3 days of cardio. We'd beat our bodies down a lot, but we would always crash and burn. Always, eventually, injuries would happen for both of us, and then all of a sudden, we would miss a couple days, miss a week, miss 2 weeks, and we just kept doing that. And we've learned now, like even with programs we're doing right now, we have 3 days a week of like really hard training, right? Lifting weights, building muscle, and then the other 2 to 3 days, one of them something we enjoy doing, like Ivan plays basketball. The other 2 days we call them like focus sessions, where we're going to the gym, using bands, other things, just very lightweight, just a little squeeze, just to get a little pump. And that's how you can sustain 6 days, 7 days a week. But for a majority, you don't need that. I would rather you replace 1 or 2 days, right? You come 4 days and replace the other 2 days with a walk, with a hike, with riding a bike, with doing something outside or doing something that's fun where it's not necessarily just beating your body down every day.
I mean, I know a lot of people who absolutely do not enjoy 6 to 7 days a week. Like it's something they think they need to do and they just absolutely just hate it. Like I feel like my body's tired, exactly what everything Frankie was saying. I feel burnt out, but I need to keep doing it. And then on the other spectrum of that, I do know a lot of people who they absolutely love training every single day, but they ignore the fact that they're not getting better results, but they still do it anyway. Does that, so it's interesting how it is. So there's people who do it every day, they enjoy it, but they don't do it appropriately, and they're not seeing the most optimal results possible. And then there's people who absolutely hate it, also not seeing the results because they're burnt out. So there has to be a happy medium, right? Like, wouldn't you want to work out less, feel better, look better, and then overall it's a great situation? Like, yes, right? Like that has to be the answer. So number one, I think you need to know how to train appropriately. Obviously, talking to coaches or people who do it well and getting advice on what's going to work best for you. Because again, in fitness, there is no cookie cutter approach. Everyone is different. Right? You have a different lifestyle than the next person. So we have to find an adequate program that fits your lifestyle. So number one, most importantly, you enjoy it, it makes you happy, and it's something that you can sustain for a lifelong journey. This is a lifestyle. We've said it before. It's not 30 days, it's not 6 weeks. This is a lifestyle. So why not figure that out right now? So those have been the 5 fitness myths that we hopefully debunked for you guys. Till next time, thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon.
Bye.